Awesome. Before we get going and open up the questions, I want to thank the University of Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman, and Pete Bavacqua for my time there. It was obviously a great experience there. I'd also like to thank the University, USC, Jen Cohen, and Coach Riley. It's a blessing to be here. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm excited to get to work.
All right, we will start with Keely.
Hi, Keely Orr, team reporter.
What's up, Keely? It's been awesome. As soon as I touched down here, it was kind of cool. I've been able to stay at Coach Riley's house over the last week and a half. I'm at his casita. That's been a really great experience. I've been able to have some of his steaks, his balsamic, Mickey Mantle steaks that he makes, which has been a really cool experience. To spend time with him, his wife, his two daughters. The transition's been great. Me and my wife, I told her the other day, it's the happiest I've been in a very long time. And I'm just excited to get to work here.
For you, how would you describe the roles and responsibilities of the college football GM in this era?
Yeah, I think everyone's going to have their different take on what it should be. I'm a collaborative guy. Everything that we're going to do here is going to be all together as one. Roles and responsibilities. I like to think that we're all in this thing together, and we're all in this to make USC the best, football program it can be, to help USC reach its full potential, which is bringing a national championship, its 12th national championship here.
With WeRSC, you were in a really, really good situation at Notre Dame. That program is exceptionally strong. Looks like it's moving up. What did USC offer you to get you to leave something pretty cool in South Bend to come here?
Yeah, Notre Dame did everything they could to, keep me there. USC for me, it meant more to me. When I was a kid, I watched Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, like that was my team. Lendell White, Jarrett, like all those guys. USC kind of held something, in my heart. I think it's the greatest city in the United States of America, Los Angeles. I think it's a city of opportunity. I think the USC and the type of degree that young people can get, as far as the connections and network, can truly set these young people up for the rest of their lives. And I thought that coming here, I could have the type of success that I want to have, and I could be able to sustain it. And it's a big reason why I chose USC.
Football. Oh, sorry. Yep. Ryan Abraham, USCFootball.com. Obviously, Notre Dame makes a run to the national championship. How quickly did this come together, and how did it all go? Jen Cohen and Lincoln Riley talking to you to bring you over to USC.
Yeah, I don't want to get into what the timeline really looked like. All I know is as soon as we started having the conversations, it was an aggressive, attacking mindset on behalf of Jen and Lincoln, and it was the place to be. I knew it was the place to be, and that's why I chose USC.
Marset, also with USCFootball.com. Could you shed some light on your roster building philosophies? How do you want to build USC's roster, and how big of an impact can your team have on next season? I know it's a pretty quick turnaround here.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's probably going to be in this upcoming class. We're going to major in high school, and we're going to minor in the portal. And we're going to be aggressive, and we're going to attack. Our business is change. Every single day something could change. We're going to be on offense every single day, and we're going to attack it. And we're going to attack it through high school. We're going to attack it through the state of California. It's the best high school football in America is played in California. And we're going to do everything that we can to get the very best players that are in California, to stay here and to play for USC.
Benjamin Royer with the LA Times. Chad, can you quickly tell us a little bit about how your relationship with Lincoln's developed? I know you were pretty close with Coach Freeman, so can you talk about that immediate conversations you've had with Lincoln, especially living with him as you currently are?
Yeah, me and Lincoln have a great relationship. We really hit it off, right off the bat. And a lot of the things that he talked about with me as to why he chose to come to USC they aligned with how I felt. And all we want to do is win this thing. We want to win that moment. And we know what moment that is. And we talked about how we're going to do it. And, You know, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. You know, and we both share and align. You know, Coach Riley, Jen, we all have. There's an alignment. There's synergy within how we're going to approach this thing, how we're going to attack it, and you know, everything kind of aligned with how we were talking, and you know, our relationship's been great. Again, anytime you have balsamic steaks that are phenomenal, you know what I mean. And Coach Riley's, you're at Coach Riley's house, staying in his guest house. You have a pretty good relationship.
Orange County Register. How did this philosophy for you of majoring in high school, minoring in portal, why do you believe in that emphasis as opposed to maybe leaning a little bit heavily on the portal? And what does that look like to you in terms of assembling?
Yeah, it's just a culture. It's just the culture. It's all about culture and the, you know, I think things that you can do within a recruiting process, the earlier you get them and have them committed, you're already building your culture. And when you have that, and you can acquire that in high school, and then you have years with the player and with the family, because you're not just recruiting a kid anymore, you're recruiting their family. And once you have them, you know, in your class, and they sign here, and you got 4 or 5 years, sometimes 3, 4, 5 years with them, that's how you build a culture of a program, and that's why that's going to be our emphasis.
Ryan Young, TrojanSports.com, Rivals. How did you kind of get on this path career-wise, and how much influence did your dad play, obviously being in sports, player personnel and everything? What's the overall background story?
Yeah, so, you know, I grew up, you know, my dad was a general manager of the Cincinnati Reds and the Washington Nationals, so I grew up in it. I watched him every day do it, interact with coaches, interact with players, interact with, you know, the ownership and you know, everything that kind of came with it. So it was natural to me. It was something I really wanted to do. You know, now I had to learn. I learned a lot when I was younger. You know, I can remember. I remember I was in my dad's office, and I heard him complaining about Felipe Lopez not running out to first base. And I went down, and I didn't know any better. I went down to the locker room. I said, "You need to run to first base," and he put me in a garbage can. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to kind of watch how you kind of play things. But you know, it was always what I wanted to do. You know, I didn't know college football was going to come to this. I didn't know it was going to be this title. I never asked for the title. I never, you know, I just wanted to help a team win. If you've ever been around me, all I want to do is win and have it be a team. You know, not just me, but have it be a team effort and everybody achieving, you know, everyone reaching their full potential. And that's all I've ever wanted to do in my life. And, you know, it's never been trying to reach being a GM. I just really want to win a national championship.
Chad, Antonio Morales from The Athletic. You've seen USC's roster from afar the past few years, but when you take a deep dive into it, what's the most pressing priority to you?
It's an incredibly talented roster. I really like the guys that are, you know, I think they've done a phenomenal job in recruiting. I really like the roster that's here. All we're trying to do is enhance it. And I really look forward to the future, and I look forward to, you know, helping this roster and helping the coaches and the administration, you know, and for USC to get to where it's supposed to go.
Chad, Ryan Dowd here with LAFB Network. First of all, welcome to LA.
Thanks.
I saw a video of you talking about some out-of-the-box recruiting tactics and strategies. Have you started talking with Lincoln about, you know, with LA at your disposal, some fun stuff you can do with recruits now?
Yeah, we've talked about him jumping out of a helicopter. I don't know if he's going to do it yet. No, I'm just kidding. Look, we'll do whatever it takes, you know, when it comes to recruiting, whatever it takes. If it makes sense, we're going to do it. And Coach Riley is up for anything. And, you know, all the coaches are up for anything. I think, you know, you guys soon will meet Rob Ryan. We might have him hopping out on a parachute. I don't know. You know, we're going to come up with some really creative ideas for recruiting, and you know, whatever it takes for us to get the very best players in the country, we're going to do it.
Hey, Chad. Mark Holkin, WeAreSC.com. Welcome to Southern California. What are what's your vision with NIL? And we're getting into the revenue sharing phase of college football. How do you see that working with the roster? Do you see the roster getting bigger, smaller, going more of an NFL size? What's your philosophy on that?
Yeah, I don't really want to disclose what we're going to do in regards to NIL or roster. All I know is we have a plan, and we're going to attack it. We're going to have a mindset of attacking. Like I said previously, this business is changing every day. And some things are not in place yet. You never know what's going to happen. We could wake up tomorrow and know that, everything that could potentially happen is it's an uncertain future. All I care about is what we can do today. And, when business changes, we're going to be in attack mode. We're going to be on offense every time.
Hey Chad, Pally Getty, ESPN. You kind of touched on it there, how much it's changing every day, and how the role itself, even it's very new. How do you see the role evolving, I guess, over the course of the next few years, if you could even look ahead and kind of predict? But what do you see as kind of the most important traits to have as you go forward with this role?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
How do you see the role of GM evolving? As you said, it's changing, constantly. How do you see it evolving, and what do you think are the important traits to have as the role evolves and it kind of keeps going?
Yeah, I think the role has so many different. There's so many different things that it involves: recruiting and NIL and personnel and working with coaches. I don't know what the next step's going to be. Again, I don't know what the future holds. I don't know how it's going to evolve, but again, I know we're going to be prepared for it and we'll have a plan for it.
Coach, you touched on it a little bit, but just that alignment and synergy with Jen and Coach Riley, what is your pitch? Like, what do you want the non-negotiables for the culture at USC here to be? And apologies, sorry, McKenna Keel, Big Ten Network. Look forward to working with you.
Yeah. I mean, it's USC. It's the place to be. It really is, and we're going to recruit that way. Everything that USC stands for and offers young people from an educational standpoint, the degree, the connections, the network, the marketability in the greatest city in the country. This is the place to be. That's going to be our messaging to every recruit, because there's not one thing that LA and what USC, it covers every base that a young person could want. And that's what that's going to be our big pitch, and that's all of us. That's every coach, that's every player, that's everybody in administration. We are all in it together, and it's the place to be.
Chad, Luke Evans, Orange County Register. Yep. I know you don't want to get into, the plan here with NIL and that sort of thing, but Lincoln just mentioned, guys are going to be aggressive or have been aggressive with NIL. Jen Cohen said, I think in a letter that they're in USC is preparing to invest the full $20.5 million into sports and be aggressive with football in that vein. Did you get the sense that, coming into this job, that you would have the resources that you'd want to build a roster, and that USC was going to be aggressive in pursuing that?
Yes.
All right, we'll do one more.
You guys have had a bunch of more help beyond yourself. How do all those pieces each lead to more success? How does having X amount of personnel directors contribute to the final product of success, recruiting-wise?
Yeah, you are who you surround yourself with. I'm a big believer in that. That's like my mom's biggest motto, is who you're around every single day. That's who you become. We're hiring the very best, across the country, and we want to be around the very best. I want to be around the very best, and I want to make sure that this program is being pushed in every avenue. And there is not a day and there is not a moment where you can be lax. I want to make sure that we are pushing this program in every avenue, and that's why we're going to continue to hire the very best in the country. And it's not just the front office. It's look at what Jen and Coach Riley have done in regards to the coaching staff. We have freaking Rob Ryan on our staff. You know what I mean? We have Coach Lynn on our staff. We got the best staff in the country. We have the best front office in the country. We got really good freaking players. I'm just excited to get to work. The future for USC is so incredibly bright. We're going to make sure this place reaches its full potential. It's going to take every day. It's going to take being around the right people, and that's what we're doing.